Hey, I'm Shadow Stalker. I'm a member of Project Avalon, and I'm presenting another theory of mine. If anybody wants to listen, that's cool. If you don't, you know where the off button is. My theory is about why the Greys are still experimenting with our DNA and not really getting anywhere with it. Okay, mind you, I'm just reading off the notes so I don't mess up too much because I'm not too keen on this. Okay, when one considers the lost book of Enki and the story behind the creation of man in that book, according to the book, the Anunaki, our supposed creators, took several shots at our ancestors' DNA to mix properly with their own. Also consider that science claims that 90 to 95% of our DNA is supposedly junk. Yeah, you have to get all this into consideration. I only have 5 minutes before I have to do this again. The Anunnaki has changed our DNA several times to dumb us down when they figured out we were too smart for them and rebelled. Then consider all the other alien interventions by several other species and other planets and solar systems. All these star systems are involved, whether we wish to have them involved or not. I don't know if it's part of the, full contract or whatever. We then need to consider that DNA upgrade may be continuous. I mean, when you think back 400,000 years and to the present. We hear all the time that people being abducted and always, to a certain degree, are having things taken from them or put into them. These people don't always know what they are. This is not including tracking chips. We're not going to put that in here. There are always, for the most part, pregnancies reported all the time, and then these unborn babies being taken at certain points of gestation. This has been reported for at the very least 60 years. This is not including the so-called virgin births to consider, recorded through our history, or religious history, let alone to myth. According to some whistleblowers, there have been over 57 different species of aliens that have been visiting this planet since 1947. Now mind, these are the ones that have been documented. Who knows how many other different species have been visiting and manipulating our DNA, not documented since then and before 1947. Things to consider. The Greys have been explained to us by some that they are us from the future, anywhere from 24,000 to 56,000 years into the future. Theories state that the DNA changed due to staying in what's called DUMBs, deep underground spaces, due to whatever catastrophe that may have happened in the near future. May have happened. It was also stated that many that have come back into our present are here to fix their DNA. Well, when you stay in, underground for any amount of time without good air and decent food, things start to change to survive. Our DNA changes to what works to survive. When you consider no real sunlight and real air, things happen. A type of what people would consider a Darwinian evolution. Who knows? Now continue this for generations. Even the first 1,000 years will incite DNA changes due to lack of proper filtration of water and air to help grow nutritional foods, and lack of sunlight, which helps produce vitamin D and D3 to help one's immune system. You have to consider all this. Most of the Greys that have been reported have been having issues with air pressure on this timeline, which tells you something about where they lived in this supposed timeline and where they live now. You can't really blame them. What's going to happen. You stay in underground base, crap happens. Then you have the time travel factor for when they use the UFOs in time travel, presuming that's what they do, travel through time. It just has to have some form of effect on the physical being. What it is, I'm not quite sure. Okay. We also need to take into consideration that there are about 4 or 5 different types of Greys, so this does not help with DNA combination for their personal upgrades, or ours for that matter. Now, before anyone goes into the morality of this is not what I'm looking for. Okay, this is not the issue. This is a theory on why they're having issues with getting their DNA together. I'm not going to get into whether they're good or bad. I'm not going to get into, you know, spirituality or materialism. Just a theory on DNA upgrade, and we'll keep morality, spirituality, and let alone religion out of this, because this is a scientific issue for me. It's not that other stuff. Okay, I guess that's it for now, so have fun, guys. Thanks for listening.